Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Today I've come to speak a word that may shake you a little, stir you a little, but I promise you it's meant to build you. It's time to talk about a habit that is holding too many of us back, being too soft on everybody, too soft on situations, too soft on ourselves. Now don't get me wrong, compassion is a virtue. Kindness is a fruit of the Spirit. But let me tell you something, if you spend your life bending and breaking for every demand, every criticism, every bit of negativity that comes your way, you'll look up one day and realize you've been depleted, drained, and left with nothing for yourself. There's a difference between being kind and being a doormat. And some of you have let people wipe their feet on your dreams, your energy, your self-worth because you're too afraid to stand up and say, enough is enough. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you sacrificed your peace for someone who didn't appreciate it? How many times have you swallowed your truth just to keep someone else comfortable? How many times have you overextended yourself for people who wouldn't cross the street to help you if you needed it? Listen to me, softness without boundaries is self-betrayal. If you don't learn to draw a line, people will take everything you've got and still ask for more. And while you're trying to keep everyone happy, your own soul is screaming for help. It's time to stop apologizing for the space you take up in this world. God did not put you here to be a shrinking violet, wilting at the slightest breeze of opposition. No, He put a fire in you, a strength in you. But that strength cannot manifest if you're too busy letting the world dilute your purpose. Let me be clear, being firm doesn't mean being cruel. Being strong doesn't mean being unloving. But it does mean that you stop tolerating disrespect. It means you stop overcompensating for people who refuse to meet you halfway. It means you stop watering weeds and start nurturing the seeds that will bear fruit in your life. Jesus Himself said, do not cast your pearls before swine. Why? Because not everyone is ready to value what you have to offer. Not everyone deserves access to your heart, your time, your energy. You can love people and still say no. You can forgive people and still protect your peace. It's not selfish to prioritize your well-being, it's stewardship. Stewardship over the life God gave you, the gifts He placed in you, the purpose He designed for you. So today I challenge you, stop being soft where you need to be strong. Stop trying to make everyone like you. Stop sacrificing your destiny to appease people who wouldn't sacrifice a minute for you. Stand firm, speak up, protect the fire within you. Because when you start living with boldness, when you walk in the authority God has given you, you'll find that the right people will respect you, the wrong ones will fall away, and the life you were meant to live will unfold before you. Now walk in strength, walk in purpose, and stop being so soft to everyone. Let the church say amen. Kindness is a virtue that has been celebrated across cultures and religions, a universal language that transcends barriers and connects human beings on a deeper, more profound level. It is an act of love, a demonstration of empathy, and a commitment to seeing the humanity in others. However, kindness is often misunderstood, misrepresented, and sometimes misused. It can be mistaken for weakness, a character flaw that suggests a lack of strength or resolve. This misinterpretation has led many to shy away from acts of kindness, fearing they will be taken advantage of or perceived as powerless. Yet, to truly understand the power of kindness, we must distinguish it from weakness, recognizing that the two are fundamentally different in their essence and impact. Kindness is a choice, a deliberate decision to act in a way that uplifts, supports, and nurtures others. It is rooted in strength because it requires self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and often a great deal of courage. To be kind in a world that can sometimes be harsh or indifferent is not an easy path. It takes a strong individual to extend grace when they have been wronged, to offer help when they themselves are in need, or to show understanding in the face of misunderstanding. Kindness is not passive, it is active and intentional. It does not mean you lack boundaries or that you allow others to exploit your generosity. On the contrary, kindness is most powerful when it is paired with wisdom, discernment, and a clear sense of self-worth. Weakness, on the other hand, is often characterized by a lack of will, the inability to stand firm in the face of adversity, or a tendency to yield to pressure. Unlike kindness, which is a choice, weakness is often a default response or reaction born out of fear, insecurity, or indecision. Weakness can manifest as people-pleasing and over-reliance on the approval of others, or a failure to assert one's needs and boundaries. While kindness elevates and empowers, weakness often diminishes and disempowers. It leads to situations where one's generosity is exploited, one's voice is silenced, and one's value is overlooked. The line between kindness and weakness may seem thin at times, but the distinction lies in intention and agency. To be kind is to act from a place of abundance. It is the recognition that giving to others does not deplete you, but rather enriches your own life. A kind person is not concerned with reciprocity. They do not give with the expectation of receiving something in return. Their kindness is not transactional but transformational, creating ripples of positivity that extend far beyond the immediate act. This abundance mindset is a hallmark of strength because it reflects a deep inner confidence and a trust in the resilience of one's own spirit. Weakness, however, often operates from a place of scarcity. It fears loss and clings to relationships, situations, or behaviors that are not healthy or fulfilling. Weakness can masquerade as kindness when it compels someone to give out of obligation, guilt, or a desire to avoid conflict rather than out of genuine care. One of the most significant ways to distinguish kindness from weakness is by examining the presence or absence of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are guidelines that define how we engage with others while maintaining our own well-being and dignity. A kind person understands the importance of boundaries and respects both their own limits and those of others. They know that saying no is not an act of cruelty but a necessary step to preserve their energy, time, and emotional health. Weakness, however, often struggles with boundaries. It fears rejection, disapproval, or confrontation and therefore allows others to overstep and take advantage. While kindness values mutual respect, weakness often sacrifices self-respect in an attempt to maintain peace or gain acceptance. Kindness is an expression of strength because it requires one to rise above their immediate emotions or circumstances. It takes strength to forgive when forgiveness is not asked for or deserved, to remain patient when provoked, and to extend a helping hand when it would be easier to turn away. Kindness requires discipline and self-control, qualities that are inherently tied to inner strength. Weakness, however, often succumbs to impulses, whether it is the impulse to avoid discomfort, to seek validation, or to remain silent in the face of injustice. Where kindness uplifts and inspires, weakness often leads to feelings of frustration, resentment, or helplessness. Another critical distinction lies in the impact kindness and weakness have on relationships. Kindness fosters genuine connections built on trust, respect, and mutual care. It creates an environment where both parties feel valued and supported. Weakness, however, can lead to imbalanced relationships where one person gives too much and receives too little in return. This imbalance can breed resentment, dependency, or even manipulation. A kind person empowers others without losing their own power, while a weak person often surrenders their power to others in an attempt to keep the relationship intact. Kindness also has a transformative power that weakness lacks. Acts of kindness have the potential to change hearts, mend wounds, and bridge divides. They inspire others to be better, to do better, and to believe in the goodness of humanity. Kindness can break cycles of negativity and create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the initial act. Weakness, on the other hand, often perpetuates cycles of exploitation or dysfunction. It does not inspire change because it lacks the agency and intention that give kindness its transformative power. It is important to recognize that kindness is not about being agreeable or avoiding conflict. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is speak the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Kindness may require you to hold someone accountable, to set firm boundaries, or to make decisions that prioritize long-term well-being over short-term comfort. Weakness, however, often avoids these difficult but necessary actions. It seeks to maintain superficial harmony at the expense of deeper, more meaningful growth. In this way, weakness can be detrimental not only to the individual but also to their relationships and communities. Kindness, when practiced with strength and intention, becomes a force for good that uplifts both the giver and the receiver. It is an acknowledgement of shared humanity and a commitment to making the world a better place, one act at a time. Weakness, however, often leads to a sense of depletion, frustration, or regret. It gives without discernment and sacrifices without purpose, leaving the individual feeling diminished rather than fulfilled. The distinction between kindness and weakness is not always immediately apparent, but it becomes clear when we examine the motivations, actions, and outcomes associated with each. In a world that often conflates kindness with weakness, it is crucial to reclaim and redefine what it means to be kind. Kindness is not about pleasing everyone or avoiding conflict. It is about choosing to act with love, compassion, and integrity, even in the face of challenges. It is about standing firm in your values while extending grace to others. It is about giving generously without losing yourself in the process. Kindness is strength in action, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of empathy. When we understand this, we can practice kindness with confidence, knowing that it is a reflection of our inner strength rather than a sign of weakness. Setting boundaries to protect your peace is one of the most essential acts of self-preservation and self-respect. Boundaries are not just barriers, they are bridges to healthier relationships, better mental health, and a more fulfilling life. They define the limits of what is acceptable in our interactions with others and establish a framework for how we expect to be treated. Yet for many, the idea of setting boundaries feels uncomfortable, as if it is an act of selfishness or rejection. However, boundaries are not about excluding others, but about including yourself in the equation of care and respect. They are about creating a space where you can thrive without being overwhelmed, manipulated, or taken advantage of. They are about ensuring that your emotional, mental, and physical well-being is a priority. Boundaries begin with self-awareness. To set them effectively, you must first understand your needs, values, and limits. This requires a deep and honest look at what makes you feel safe, respected, and valued, as well as what drains you, makes you uncomfortable, or infringes on your sense of self. Without this clarity, it becomes challenging to communicate your boundaries to others or to recognize when they are being crossed. Many people struggle with boundaries because they are disconnected from their own feelings and needs, often prioritizing others' desires over their own. This tendency can stem from a fear of conflict, a desire to be liked, or a sense of obligation. But without boundaries, you risk losing yourself in the process of pleasing others. Boundaries are not about shutting people out, they are about inviting the right kind of relationships into your life. When you set boundaries, you create a space where mutual respect can flourish. You teach others how to treat you, and you model the importance of self-care and respect. Boundaries are an act of love, both for yourself and for others, because they prevent resentment, frustration, and burnout. They allow relationships to thrive in a healthy and balanced way where both parties feel valued and respected. Without boundaries, relationships can become one-sided, with one person giving too much and the other taking too much. This imbalance can lead to feelings of being used or unappreciated, which ultimately erodes trust and connection. Setting boundaries is an act of courage. It often requires you to have difficult conversations, to say no when it would be easier to say yes, and to stand firm in the face of pushback. It requires you to prioritize your peace over the temporary discomfort of conflict or disapproval. Many people struggle with this because they fear rejection or confrontation. They worry that setting boundaries will make them appear selfish or unkind. However, the truth is that boundaries are an expression of self-respect and self-worth. They are a way of saying, I value myself enough to protect my energy, my time, and my emotional well-being. When you set boundaries, you are not being selfish, you are being responsible for your own happiness and peace. One of the challenges of setting boundaries is dealing with the reactions of others. Not everyone will understand or respect your boundaries, especially if they are accustomed to overstepping them. Some people may push back, test your limits, or try to make you feel guilty. They may accuse you of being cold, unkind, or difficult. These reactions can be challenging to navigate, especially if you are someone who values harmony and avoids conflict. However, it is important to remember that their reaction is not a reflection of your worth or the validity of your boundaries. It is a reflection of their inability or unwillingness to respect your needs. Standing firm in your boundaries, even in the face of resistance, is a powerful act of self-empowerment. Boundaries are not about controlling others, they are about taking control of your own life. They are about creating a sense of autonomy and agency where you are not at the mercy of others' demands, expectations, or opinions. When you set boundaries, you take ownership of your own happiness and well-being. You recognize that it is not your responsibility to make everyone else happy at the expense of your own peace. You understand that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and that taking care of yourself is not a luxury but a necessity. Boundaries are a way of ensuring that you have the time, energy, and emotional capacity to show up as your best self, not just for others but for yourself. Boundaries are also an act of trust in yourself and trust in the relationships you value. When you set boundaries, you trust that the people who truly care about you will respect them. You trust that your relationships are strong enough to withstand honesty, and that your worth is not dependent on how much you give or how much you endure. Setting boundaries is a way of saying, I believe in my right to be treated with respect, and I trust that the people in my life will honor that. For those who don't, boundaries serve as a filter, allowing you to identify relationships that are not healthy or supportive. They help you surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you rather than drain or diminish you. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is consistency. It is not enough to set a boundary once and assume it will be respected indefinitely. Boundaries must be reinforced through your actions and choices. This means being willing to follow through on consequences if your boundaries are violated. For example, if you set a boundary around not answering work calls after a certain hour and someone continues to call, you must be prepared to let the call go unanswered. If you set a boundary around how you expect to be spoken to and someone speaks to you disrespectfully, you must be prepared to address it or remove yourself from the situation. Consistency in enforcing your boundaries sends a clear message that you take them seriously and expect others to do the same. Boundaries are not static, they can evolve as your needs and circumstances change. What you needed 5 years ago may not be what you need now, and what you need today may not be what you need in the future. Regularly reassessing your boundaries and adjusting them as necessary is an important part of maintaining your peace and well-being. This requires you to stay in tune with yourself, to listen to your feelings and instincts, and to have the courage to make changes when something no longer serves you. Setting boundaries is not a one-time act, it is an ongoing practice of self-awareness, self-respect, and self-care. Boundaries are also about balance. They are not about isolating yourself or shutting others out, they are about creating a sense of harmony between your needs and the needs of others. Boundaries allow you to give from a place of abundance rather than depletion. They enable you to show up for others without losing yourself in the process. When you set boundaries, you are not rejecting others, you are affirming your own value and worth. You are creating a space where your peace can flourish, where your relationships can thrive, and where you can live a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Protecting your peace through boundaries is one of the most profound ways you can honor yourself. It is a way of saying, I matter. My needs matter. My happiness matters. It is a declaration of self-worth and a commitment to living a life that aligns with your values and priorities. Boundaries are not about selfishness, they are about self-preservation. They are a way of ensuring that you have the energy, time, and emotional capacity to live a life that is meaningful and fulfilling. When you set boundaries, you are taking a stand for your peace, your happiness, and your well-being. Your worth is not something that can be given to you by someone else, nor can it be taken away. It exists independently of your circumstances, achievements, or failures. It is the foundation upon which your life is built, the core of who you are. When you fail to recognize your worth, you may find yourself settling for less than you deserve in relationships and career choices, and in how you care for yourself. You may tolerate disrespect, accept mediocrity, or neglect your own needs because you have not yet understood that you are deserving of more. Recognizing your worth is the key to breaking free from these patterns and stepping into a life that reflects your true value. Purpose is closely tied to worth, as it represents the unique role you are meant to play in the world. Each person is born with a purpose, a calling that is as individual as their fingerprints. Purpose is not necessarily tied to a specific job or achievement. Rather, it is about the impact you are meant to have, the legacy you are meant to leave, and the way you are meant to contribute to the world around you. Discovering your purpose requires you to look inward, to reflect on your passions, your strengths, and the things that bring you joy. It often involves listening to the quiet voice within that nudges you toward what feels authentic and meaningful. When you recognize your worth, you open the door to discovering your purpose. You begin to understand that you have something valuable to offer, that your existence is not an accident, and that your life has meaning. This understanding gives you the confidence to pursue your dreams, to take risks, and to embrace opportunities that align with your purpose. It allows you to move through life with a sense of direction and fulfillment, knowing that you are contributing to something greater than yourself. One of the greatest barriers to recognizing your worth and purpose is the tendency to compare yourself to others. In a world where social media and societal expectations constantly highlight the achievements and lives of others, it can be easy to feel inadequate or insignificant. However, comparison is a thief of joy and a distraction from your own unique journey. Your worth is not diminished by someone else's success, nor is your purpose less important because it looks different from theirs. Each person's path is their own, and your value lies in being authentically you, not in trying to emulate someone else. When you let go of comparison, you free yourself to focus on your own growth and to celebrate the unique qualities that make you who you are. Recognizing your worth also involves confronting and overcoming the internal and external voices that tell you you are not enough. These voices may come from past experiences, societal pressures, or your own inner critic. They may tell you that you are not smart enough, talented enough, attractive enough, or worthy enough to pursue your dreams or to live a fulfilling life. These voices are lies, and they must be silenced if you are to fully embrace your worth. This requires you to challenge negative beliefs, to replace them with affirmations of your value, and to surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you. Purpose often unfolds in stages, revealing itself through experiences, challenges, and opportunities. Sometimes it comes as a clear and undeniable calling. Other times it is discovered gradually through trial and error. There is no right or wrong way to find your purpose, and it is never too late to discover it. What matters is that you remain open to the process, willing to explore, and willing to take action when the time comes. Recognizing your worth gives you the courage to pursue your purpose even when the path is uncertain or when fear and doubt try to hold you back. Your worth and purpose are deeply connected to the impact you have on others. When you recognize your value, you become more willing to share your gifts, to offer kindness, and to contribute to the well-being of those around you. Your purpose often lies in the ways you can make a difference, whether that is through your work, your relationships, or your acts of service. When you live in alignment with your worth and purpose, you inspire others to do the same. You become a light in the world, illuminating the path for those who may be struggling to see their own value. Recognizing your worth also involves taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Self-care is not indulgence, it is a declaration of your value and a commitment to honoring yourself. When you prioritize your well-being, you are better equipped to fulfill your purpose and to give to others from a place of abundance rather than depletion. This means setting boundaries, saying no when necessary, and investing in activities and practices that nourish your mind, body, and soul. Self-care is a reflection of self-worth, and it is an essential part of living a life that honors your value. Living with a sense of worth and purpose brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that cannot be found through external validation or material success. It allows you to navigate life's challenges with resilience, knowing that your value is not diminished by setbacks or failures. It gives you the strength to persevere, to learn, and to grow, confident that you are capable of achieving great things. When you recognize your worth, you are no longer defined by the opinions of others or by the ups and downs of life. Instead, you are grounded in a deep and unshakable sense of who you are and why you are here. Recognizing your worth and purpose is not a one-time revelation, but an ongoing journey. It requires you to continually affirm your value, to revisit your purpose, and to adapt to new circumstances and opportunities. It requires you to stay connected to yourself, to listen to your inner voice, and to trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. This journey is not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you embrace your worth and live in alignment with your purpose, you unlock the potential to create a life that is meaningful, impactful, and truly your own. To live boldly is to recognize the power that resides within you. This power is not derived from external validation or material possessions, but from an inner sense of worth and capability. It is the understanding that you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way, that you have the resilience to overcome obstacles, and that your voice and perspective matter. Boldness is rooted in the belief that you have something valuable to contribute and that your existence has meaning and purpose. When you embrace this truth, you begin to live with a sense of authority that transcends doubt and insecurity. You are no longer swayed by the opinions of others or held back by fear of failure. Instead, you move forward with clarity and determination, confident in your ability to navigate the path ahead. Living with authority means taking responsibility for your own life. It requires you to make decisions that align with your values and goals, even when they are difficult or unpopular. It means refusing to be a passive observer of your own existence, waiting for others to dictate your direction or define your worth. Instead, you become an active participant, shaping your life with intention and purpose. Boldness compels you to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone, and to pursue your dreams with unwavering commitment. It is a refusal to settle for less than what you are capable of achieving and a determination to create a life that reflects your true potential. Living boldly also involves setting boundaries and protecting your peace. It means saying no to things that do not serve your growth or well-being, even when it is uncomfortable. It requires you to prioritize your own needs and desires without guilt or shame, understanding that self-care is not selfish but necessary. Boldness allows you to stand firm in your convictions even when others challenge or criticize you. It empowers you to advocate for yourself and to demand the respect and treatment you deserve. Living with authority is not about pleasing everyone, but about staying true to yourself and honoring your own truth. To be bold is to embrace vulnerability and authenticity. It means being willing to show up as your true self, even when it feels risky. It is about owning your story, your strengths, and your imperfections without fear of judgment or rejection. Boldness requires you to let go of the need for perfection and to recognize that your value is not contingent upon meeting someone else's standards. When you live with authority, you are not afraid to speak your truth, to share your ideas, and to stand up for what you believe in. You are willing to take a stand even when it is unpopular or difficult because you understand that your voice matters and that your perspective has value. Living boldly also means embracing change and uncertainty. It is about stepping into the unknown with courage and faith, trusting that you have the strength and adaptability to face whatever lies ahead. Boldness allows you to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than as obstacles to be feared. It encourages you to take risks and to pursue new experiences, knowing that failure is not a reflection of your worth but a stepping stone on the path to success. Living with authority means refusing to let fear dictate your choices or hold you back from pursuing your goals. It is about taking action even when the outcome is uncertain and trusting in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. To live boldly is to embrace your power and to use it for good. It means recognizing the influence you have, whether in your relationships, your community, or the world at large, and using it to make a positive impact. Boldness is not about seeking power for its own sake, but about using your gifts, talents, and resources to create meaningful change. It is about being a leader in your own life and inspiring others to do the same. When you live with authority, you empower those around you to recognize their own potential and to step into their own boldness. Living with authority requires resilience and perseverance. It means continuing to move forward even in the face of setbacks or opposition. Boldness is not a one-time act, but a way of being that requires constant renewal and commitment. It is about getting back up after a fall, learning from your mistakes, and continuing to pursue your goals with determination. Living boldly means refusing to let fear, doubt, or adversity define you. It is about holding on to your vision and staying true to your path, no matter the challenges you face. To live boldly is to embrace your uniqueness and to celebrate what makes you different. It means rejecting the pressure to conform or to fit into a mold that does not align with your true self. Boldness allows you to stand out and to shine, unafraid to be seen and heard. When you live with authority, you recognize that your individuality is your strength and that your perspective is valuable. You are not afraid to challenge the status quo, to ask questions, and to think differently. Boldness is about being a trailblazer, a pioneer, and a leader in your own right. Living boldly also means being willing to let go of what no longer serves you. It is about releasing old habits, beliefs, or relationships that hold you back and making room for growth and new opportunities. Boldness requires you to trust in the process of transformation and to embrace the possibilities that come with change. When you live with authority, you are not afraid to make difficult decisions or to take bold steps toward a better future. You understand that growth often requires discomfort, and that true transformation comes from stepping outside your comfort zone. Living with authority is ultimately about freedom, the freedom to be yourself, to pursue your dreams, and to live a life that is true to who you are. It is about breaking free from the limitations imposed by fear, doubt, or the expectations of others and stepping into your own power. Boldness allows you to live authentically and unapologetically, embracing all that you are and all that you are capable of becoming. When you live boldly, you inspire others to do the same, creating a ripple effect that extends far beyond your own life. Living with authority is not just about claiming your power, it is about using it to create a life that is meaningful, impactful, and true to your highest potential.